Hi guys, I am Brilliant and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome friend. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Here we do all things beauty and matriarchy and a bit of lifestyle. I hope you get to enjoy it. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for your support. You are the best. You keep this channel going. Anyway, today I'm going to be showing you guys an everyday makeup look. I'm just gonna show you, like, take you through the whole tutorial step by step. I hope you get to learn something that you can include into your everyday makeup look routine. I am naturally the kind of girl who likes very simple makeup, so I'm mostly doing simple, natural, everyday kind of makeup most of the time. I hope you enjoy this video. Stay tuned. So because we're not trying to spend 1 hour doing this, I've already done my eyebrows off camera. I will be posting a dedicated eyebrow tutorial very soon. That's a promise. So since it's a very simple everyday makeup look, you're just going to pick one color if you want any color at all on your eyes. The trick is, because you don't want to spend so much time doing your makeup, because this is an everyday makeup look, you just want to take the shortest time possible to complete it. You're not really going to fuss about having it fill up your whole eye, so you're just going to dab your eyeshadow and bring it on to the lid directly over here, and you're just going to keep it within the lid, not going beyond the lid, so that you don't really have like any blending crises that you have to attend to whilst you're trying to really get this makeup done in the shortest time possible. You see, just keep it on the lid so much that when you open your eye, the color doesn't go beyond your crease or the fold on your eye like that. So now that you have your color on your eyes, the next thing that you're going to do is to give it some life. Because it's very minimal and just covers half of your eye, you want it to be as alive as possible, and you can do that in two ways. The first way is to add some liner, but now the trick is you're not going to really put in a full winged liner or anything like that, but you're just going to make a very thin line along your lash line like this. You just make it a very thin line that is not going to consume most of what you have already done with your color on the lid, but it's just trying to give it some life. So you can already see the difference on this eye where I've put liner, and on that eye where I haven't put any liner. So you're just going to maintain it like that as a very thin line, and voila, it's gonna come to life. And then the next thing you're going to do to bring this look, this eyeshadow to life, is to find a shimmer color that is neutral and that is going to match, or at least contrast well with the color that you've put on your eye. And you're going to take something like this, if you have it, or even just a small brush really that you may have. You're going to take and put it onto your shimmer, just a little bit like that, and then you're going to come into the inner corner of your eye right over there and give it that little spark over here. Just being sure to make it like a very tiny spark that goes right there into the inner corner of your eye, which is the last thing you will do to bring that look to life. And then now we're going to leave that alone for a bit, and we start focusing on our face makeup. So what you're going to do is just going to put your foundation, and remember that skin prep is very important, so make sure that your skin is moisturized and that you've put on your SPF. And if you have a primer, if you use a primer, you put on your primer, which I've already done. What I'm going to do now, I already have my foundation here. I'm mixing two different shades because I don't exactly have like the perfect shade for my skin tone, so so when you're putting on foundation, you can either use your beauty blender or your brush. I really just prefer a brush particularly, but also like it really just depends with the texture of the foundation. This foundation that I am currently using is quite a bit light, if you know what I mean, in terms of texture. It's liquid foundation that is very light, it's not exactly very thick, and because of that, it means that it can really be easily moved if I use a beauty blender. So I really just generally prefer using blenders for thicker foundations that have like much more dense, because then I don't get to waste a lot of products. And remember to also just blend in your jawline and your neck so that you don't have that demarcation or that difference, because you don't want to be looking like two different people when you're done with your makeup. Yeah, after you've put on your foundation, you can just go in with a dry brush that you can use to like really emphasize the blending in, because you want to make sure that your foundation is well blended into your skin and well set into your skin, so that it doesn't flake or doesn't move by the time you're like adding on more things onto your skin and to your look. Because like when it comes to makeup, the most important part is the base, because the base is what is going to give you a very flawless look at the end of the day. So next up, we're going to go in with highlighting, and I'll be using a LA Girl Pro concealer in the shade Cool Tan. So you don't want to really like put a lot, because this is an everyday look and you want to maintain a very natural finish, and that means not highlighting too much, but just doing enough to make sure that your under eyes are bright and to make sure that light is going to hit the appropriate places. So I remember when I started doing makeup, I wasn't really like huge on nose contouring. I would always like leave it out and just do everything else except the nose. But I think of late I've been pushing myself to start trying like more techniques, because honestly I really am a simple makeup girl. I really like my makeup very simple, but I'm just trying out new things so that I can challenge myself to learn more about makeup, because when it comes to makeup, really there is a lot, and as a makeup artist, it's important for me to actually learn as much as I can and get accustomed to as many techniques as possible, so that when I work with clients, I am able to deliver like good quality work and things like that. So I'm going to leave this concealer on for like a minute whilst I take a darker shade, which is this one that I'm going to use to just contour. And so the reason why I'm leaving the concealer on and not blending it immediately is so that it sits in place, because sometimes when you blend it immediately, especially when it's not like a thick concealer, especially when it's LA Girl, which is really just the most beginner friendly concealer that I know, at least, it's important for you to leave it in to set, because if you blend it immediately, then you risk a chance of moving it from where you already set it when you were putting it on. And yeah, So now I'm going to go back in with the same brush that I use for blending my foundation. I like this brush because it's very dense. As you can see over here, it's like very dense, so it helps to like blend well for me. So I'm just gonna go in like that. And when you're blending concealer, it's like really important to be very light-handed, because you want to make sure that you blend your concealer where it is and you don't move it around or move it to other areas that you don't want it to go to. So be very sure to be light-handed and gentle with your brush or your blender or whatever it is that you use to blend. So when you're blending, again, I'm just gonna repeat this in case you missed it, so that you remember that when you're blending your concealer, you need to be very light-handed so that you don't move your concealer, because you want it to blend where you put it. And in the same manner, you're just going to blend your contour over here. And when you're blending your contour, you want to do it upwards, going this way, because you don't want it to be all over the place down here. So you want to do it upwards and fill it up in that area and that area alone. And after that, we're going to go in again with this brush just to set everything in all over again and make sure that everything is sitting in place. We're done with that. We're going to move on to the next stage, which is the stage where you're going to set your face. So there are two different ways in which you can do this, and either you can set your face or you can bake it, or you can do both. And usually people that have dry skin don't bake their face, because the whole idea is to make sure that your foundation, all those dewy products that we just put in on our skin right now, become matte and don't cause you to end up being oily. But if you have naturally dry skin, baking will end up giving you like a very dry feeling on your skin. So it would be more advisable for you to just set your face instead of baking it. And also when it comes to like everyday makeup look, you want to really just sit and not do something that is super hectic. So this is what I do when I'm setting. You put your powder in a lid like this, right? And then you're going to dip in your brush like that, and you see how much powder it has picked up right there, right? But then you're going to dust off all that powder from the brush. Dust it off until your brush looks like that. And then you're gonna come in with that brush and start setting. So you see that even in as much as you already dusted off the brush still had some powder on it, which is really sufficient for what we are trying to achieve here. Just look at that difference. See this side and this side. So you're going to do this on all the areas that you highlighted, that is the areas where you put your concealer. And also it's a good thing to do it around your mouth, because sometimes, or some people may have a mustache or a dark area around here, so you're just trying to brighten it up so that when you put your lip gloss or whatever, it just, you know, pops out and everything. And you also do it on your forehead. And at this point, it's very, very important to be very light-handed, because you don't want to move anything, and you also don't want to accidentally put too much or smudge, or all of those things. And as much as you're going to make mistakes with makeup, it is important to just have a very light hand with your now at this stage of doing your makeup, so that everything eventually just. So now that you have set all your highlighted areas, you also want to set your contoured areas so that they don't remain looking all greasy, because as you can see, when you look at the side of my cheek, in the areas where I have set already, it's looking matte and gorgeous and all, but there's this area where I contoured and it's still looking a bit greasy. So you want to take care of that, which is the next thing that you're going to do. And for setting your contour, if you have a darker shade of setting powder or pressed powder, this is the time that you get to use it. Or even actually a shade like your skin tone shade of pressed powder or finishing powder, this is where you use it, and you use very little and just set like what I'm doing with very little to minimal force. And there we are. So now we're getting like to the final stages of our makeup look, and this is the time where you want to start preparing your lashes, putting glue on your lashes whilst you apply mascara on your eyes, and you apply your blush, your bronzer, the works, all that you do. We're going to go in with bronzing, blushing up and everything. So for me, I'm going to use this shade to blush, and I'm going to just really be very minimal. And when it comes to your blush, you want to put it right in this area, just along your cheek. And there we are, all blushed up. And the last thing we're going to be doing on our face is highlighting. So you're gonna go in, most preferably with the same shimmer shade or highlighter that is the same shade as the one that you put in the inner corner of your eyes, just so that you create that coherence sort of type of thing on your face. And you also want to remember to be very light-handed over here, because you want to shine, but you don't want to shine. If you know what I mean, you want to shine, but you don't want to shine. So you just want to be very minimal and as neat as possible. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. We have come to the end of this tutorial. I hope that it was helpful for you and that you picked up something new, something exciting, something you would love to try. Let me know in the comments below what you enjoyed the most about this video, if you loved this final look that we created today. And remember to like this video and also share with a friend, share with someone. Okay, thank you, till next time. Cheers.